Hi, fourth grade. This is Miss Wilson again, coming to you with another lesson. Today, we're going to be doing rounding. Our objective for today is you will be able to round using a vertical line. Now, I know we've never used a vertical number line before, but today will be the day. So you will need paper, pencil, and headphones. So pause it here and get those items and come right back. Okay, let's get started.
Oh, hi, Zerner. I have 3,100 building blocks here, but I want to tell my teacher friends approximately how many blocks I have. Let's find out about how many blocks there are. Let's use a vertical number line to help us round to the nearest thousand. Between what two thousands is 3,100? Let's start with the lower endpoint. How many thousands are in 3,100?
So when I look at 3,100 and I go to the thousands place, I see that I have a 3 in the thousands place. So there's 3 thousands in 3,100.
There are 3 thousands in 3,100. 3 thousands is equal to 3,000. So that's our lower endpoint. Label 3 thousands in standard form here.
Okay, and just remember that standard form just means the way that we always write the number.
What's 1,000 more than 3 thousands? That's our upper endpoint. Label that here.
Okay, so why are we labeling the top 1,000 more? Because when we round, your place value has two choices. It can stay the same, which means that 3 will stay the same, or it can go up 1, which would make that 3 or what? If that 3 went up 1, what would it make it? A 4. So either our number is going to stay at 3,000 or it's going to go to 4,000. It does not go lower. The number in the place value that we're rounding either stays the same or it goes up by 1. So written in standard form, that'll just be 4,000. So I took it from the written form to the standard form. And remember, standard form is just the way we write a number.
1 more thousand is 4 thousands, or 4,000. So that's our upper endpoint. What's halfway between 3 thousands and 4 thousands? We call that the midpoint. Here's a trick to help. 3,000 is the same as 30 hundredths, and 4,000 is the same as 40 hundredths. So we can think, what is halfway between 30 hundredths and 40 hundredths? Label the midpoint on the number line.
Okay, so seeing that we're dealing with hundreds, so definitely our thousands place is going to stay the same. So what is the midpoint between 30 and 40? Midpoint is what is right in the middle. Yes, 35. 35 is between 30 and 40. So when we write 3,500 in standard form, it's 3,500. So you see how in the middle of 3,000 is 3,500 and then 4,000.
The midpoint is 35 hundredths, or 3,500. Now let's plot. Where can we label 3,100 on the number line? Is 3,100 greater than 3,500 or less than 3,500? Plot 3,100 on the number line.
And plot just means that you're going to label or identify where that number will be at. That's what plot means. That you're just going to label where that number will be at on the number line. So the question is, will 3,100 be closer to 3,000 or would it be closer to 4,000? We use our midpoint as a guide. Is 3,100 less than, or greater than 3,500? it is definitely less than, because when I compare my numbers in the thousands place, the number is the same. So then I go to my hundreds place, 5 is greater than 1.
3,100 is less than 3,500. So 3,100 is here on the number line. Is 3,100 nearer to 3,000 or 4,000?
So as we look at this number line, we need to see what is 3,100 closer to. It's right above 3,000, and it's not even near 4,000. So it has to be closer to 3,000.
3,100 is nearer to 3,000 on our vertical number line. So 3,100 rounded to the nearest thousand is 3,000. This symbol, the two squiggly lines, means is about. So 3,100 is about 3,000. I have about 3,000 blocks. What if we have 3,700 blocks? I still want to tell my teacher friends about how many blocks I have, not exactly how many. I'll plot 3,700 here between 3,500 and 4,000. Is 3,700 nearer to 3,000 or 4,000?
So as I look at the vertical number line, anytime the number is above your midpoint, it's either is your midpoint or above your midpoint, you definitely use the larger number. So 3,700 is closer to 4,000. So remember, our squiggly lines means is about. So I'm putting that 3,700 is about 4,000. Let me put my comma in there, because I did learn that when I write standard form, after each unit of numbers, I have to put my comma. Good job.
3,700 is nearer to 4,000 than 3,000 on the number line. So we can say 3,700 rounded to the nearest thousand is 4,000.
That's right. So now I have about 4,000 blocks. Let's try another one in our notes. We're working on Mission 1, Lesson 7. We're rounding the number 23,500 to the nearest thousand. Between what two thousands is 23,500? Let's start with the lower endpoint. How many thousands are in 23,500? Write that here on the number line in standard form.
Okay, so let's use this time to write it on your paper. Pause it if you need to. But remember that we're rounding to the nearest thousand spot. So you thousands place. So you definitely need to find a number which is 3 in our thousands place. Anything in front of or greater than our thousands place, number stays the same. So this 2 wouldn't change. Okay, write your number. We're back.
There are 23 thousands in 23,500. So I'll label the lower endpoint like this. 23,000. What's one more thousand? That's our upper endpoint. Write that here in standard form.
So again, my thousands place has 2 choices when I'm rounding. It can stay the same, and that's where we got the 23,000 from, or it can go up 1, which would, so 23,000 plus 1 more thousand would give me how many? Write it on your paper.
One more thousand than 23,000 is 24,000. Now let's label the midpoint. What's halfway between 23,000 and 24,000? 23,000 is the same as 230 hundreds, and 24,000 is the same as 240 hundreds. So a good trick is to think, what's halfway between 230 hundreds and 240 hundreds? Write that here.
So we need to think of, again, the midpoint or the halfway point is between 230 and 240. And so my midpoint would be, correct, 235 hundredths. So rewrite your 235 hundredths in standard form on your paper.
Halfway between 230 hundredths and 240 hundredths is 235 hundredths. 235 hundredths is equal to 23,500. So that's our midpoint. Check your work.
All right, so check your work. Pause it here if you need to erase anything. If not, let's keep going.
Now, plot 23,500 on the number line with a dot. You've got this.
So again, remember, plot means just identify it with a point on your vertical number line.
We can plot 23,500 here on our number line. What do you notice about where we plotted our point? It's right on the midpoint. Mathematicians decided that when a number falls right on the midpoint, we always round up. So 23,500 rounded to the nearest thousand is 24,000. Write that here.
So go ahead and fill that in on your paper, and let's keep going.
Ready for a challenge? Round 16,701 to the nearest thousand on your own using a vertical number line. Start by labeling the endpoints. Between what two thousands is 16,701?
So again, when I read my number, remember I have units. So in my thousands place, I have a 6. So my 6 has two choices. It could stay the same. So my 16,000s will stay the same, and all the numbers behind it will become 0. Or my thousands place could go up 1. So if I have 16,000 and it went up by 1,000, what will I have? Yes, 17,000. Make sure I put my comma there. So those are my two choices for my answer. Now I'm going to do my halfway point. And my halfway point, which is called my midpoint, is between the two. So if I have 16,000 and I have 17,000, what is the midpoint between that? So I'm going to put it in hundreds just to, help me a little bit. So I have 160 hundredths and I have 1,700. What's the midpoint? So that'll be 165 hundredths, which is my midpoint. So let me put my comma in there. So I'm saying that I have 16,000, 16,500, and then 17,000. Okay, now I have to plot or identify with the point on my vertical number line where 16,701 will be. My midpoint is 16,500. So if I compare my numbers, I'll start with my highest place value, which is 10,000. They both have 1. Then I'll go to my 1,000. They both have 6. Then I will go to my hundreds. One has 7 and one has 5. I've known since kindergarten that 7 is greater than 5. So I will have to plot my 16,701 above 16,500. So now I have to round. So as I see, and what I've learned in the video today is if I plot my number and it's above my midpoint, I use my top number. Okay, so I'm saying 16,701 is about 17,000. Good job.
I plotted 16,701 here. It's greater than 16,500, so 16,701 rounds up to 17,000.
Great job. Try this next one on your own. Round 458,329 to the nearest thousand.
Okay, so again, I have to read what I'm rounding to. So I'm rounding to the nearest thousandths place. And as I look in this number, what's in my thousandths place? It's an 8. Okay, so remember my unit of thousands stay the same. So anything before my thousandths place stay the same. So the 4 and the 5 stay the same. And now my 8 has two choices. My 8 can stay the same. So my bottom number is going to have it where my 8 stays the same. Or my 8 could go up 1. So my top number is going to be where my thousandths place went up 1. So those could only be my two answers. When I'm rounding, you only have two choices. Either the thousandths place stay the same, or it goes up by 1. Oh, I forgot my 0 in there. I apologize. Moving too fast. I forgot my other 0. All right. Okay, so now I have to find my midpoint or my halfway point in between the two. So again, my thousands unit is going to stay the same. Whatever my lowest point is, my 1,000 unit is going to match that. And then the halfway point between 1,000 is 500. So that'll be my 500 at the end. So I'm going to use my midpoint to help me figure out what am I doing with my thousands, whether or not my thousands are going to stay the same or it's going to go up 1. So now I'm going to plot my 458,329. So I'm going to compare that number to my midpoint. So I will know whether or not I'm plotting above my midpoint or I'm plotting below my midpoint. So when I compare the numbers, I have in my 100,000, because I always start with my 100,000, well, my highest place value when I'm rounding, or even when I'm comparing. So let's see, I have 4 and 4, those are the same. So I go to my next place value, which is 10,000. I have 5 and 5, those are the same. So far it hasn't told me which one is greater. Then I go to my thousands, I have 8 and 8. So I still don't know where to plot it yet. So then I go to my hundreds. I have 5, and then I have 3. And again, ever since kindergarten, I've known 5 is greater than 3. So that means that I have to plot my 458,329 below 458,500. Now, I'm going to see which one is closer to. So based on what we've learned today in this zone, if it's above the midpoint, it goes to the higher number. If it's below the midpoint, it goes to the lower number. So where do we plot it at? Above or below the midpoint? Yes, it was below the midpoint. So we're saying that 458,300 is about, because remember those squiggly, the equal squiggly line is about 458,000. Good job.
Way to build your rounding skills today, Zerner. Keep it up in the Tower of Power.
All right, so let's practice. The more you use your brain, the stronger it grows. Okay, so we're going to round to the nearest what place? Thousands place. So that's exactly where we need to be concentrating at, is in our thousands place. So let's look at our thousands place. and see what number we have. Yes, we have a 4 in our thousands place. So the 4 has two choices. What are the two choices that 4 can do? Yes, that 4 can stay the same. So if it stayed the same, it will be 4,000. Or the 4 can go up by 1,000. So if it went up by 1,000, how much would that be? Yes, 5,000. So I don't know the answer yet, but I know it can only be either 4,000 or 5,000. So let's find our midpoint. So if I have 40 hundreds and 50 hundreds, or I have 4,000 and 5,000, because they equal the same, what would be the midpoint? What would be the midpoint between 4,000 and 5,000? Remember, midpoint means the halfway. It'll be 4,500. Hit that 4 too many times. 500. All right, so now we need to plot. So we have to compare our numbers to see where we can plot. So what are we comparing our number to? Are we comparing our number to the top and the bottom of our vertical line, or are we comparing our number to the midpoint? Yes, we're comparing it to the midpoint. So I'm going to compare my largest place value first, which is my thousands. So I have 4 and 4. They're the same, so that didn't tell me which one was larger. So then I go to my hundreds, and I have 700s and 500s. Which one is greater? Yes, the 7. So that means that I'm going to plot my 4,764 above my midpoint. So what we've learned today is if we plot our number above the midpoint, that means that we're rounding to our top number on our vertical line. So I'm saying that 4,764 is about 5,000, because I'm saying that 4,764 is closer to 5,000 than it is 4,000. Good work. All right, let's try another one. So we're going to round to the thousands place again. So let's find what's in our thousands place. Yes, that'll be a 5. So again, what two choices does that 5 have? Yes, it can stay the same or it can go up 1. So remember, these units go together, and anything in front of my thousands place stay the same. So I'm still at 375,000. That's one of my choices. And then if I added 1,000, because remember, this can only go up by 1. If I added 1,000 to 375,000, what would I get? Yes, 3,076,000. 376,000. Good job. Now we have to find our, yes, midpoint. So we have to find the midpoint between 375,000 and 376,000. So my thousands from my bottom number stays the same, and I add 500 because that is the midpoint between these two numbers, and midpoint just means the half point. Now I have to compare the number that I'm rounding to my midpoint. So look in my highest place value first. That's 100,000. 3 and 3, they're the same. Then I go to my 10,000, 7 and 7, they're the same. I go to my thousands, 5 and 5, they're the same. So then I have to go to my hundreds. and I have 3 and 5. So 5 is definitely greater than 3. So it couldn't 375,388 could not be above my midpoint. So it definitely is below. So what we've learned is if my number that I plot on my vertical line is below my midpoint, that means that I'm going to use the bottom of my vertical line. So we're saying that 375,388 is about 375,000. Good job. So let's try another one. Okay, so this time they took away our vertical line and they want us to solve it on paper, and then we're going to enter the answer into Zearn. So let's use this time to get out your paper, do your vertical line, and pause it here. All right. Hopefully you've gotten your answer. I got it in my comma. So we're saying that 26,734 is about 27,000. Good job, you got it. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again. Remember, our objective today was that we could round using a vertical line to the thousands place. Now, we're definitely going to have more videos on rounding to different place values, but today our objective was only to the thousands place. So I hope this video helps you, and let's get some more practice in. Till next time, bye.